Yep, the old backyard pond is still muddy and we need to clean it up. Welcome on back to today's video here at the new house and here at the pond, and as I like to call it, another beautiful day in debt. If you guys watched my video on the current financial situation, you know what I'm talking about. We're gonna keep moving on. We're gonna keep trucking here, and one of the things that has been bugging me is this pond. I finally have fish stocked in here, and I haven't even fished it, guys. I haven't had time to do anything. I've been dealing with this house stuff. I have yet to release an arrow through the woods. I haven't even sat for a deer hunt this season. I'm just barely keeping the freezer full of golden crispies and catfish right now. But all good things will come with time. I'm having patience, and we are building the dream here, guys. We're building the dream. We're just got a few hurdles to go over. But today, we're gonna try to conquer this one thing that has been bugging me, and that's not being able to see any of the fish and just having this muddy pond. So we're gonna do a little bit of experimenting today. I was actually up in the office. I'm gonna take you guys inside, kind of give you an update on the inside. But I was in my office. I was going through some old papers, moving, and I found some of my old documents. I studied fisheries ecology, and I've forgotten way more than I remember. But anyway, some of the notes in there were talking about ways to make ponds clearer and pond management basically, and two of the solutions, just depending on your water chemistry, were aluminum sulfate or alum and gypsum. So gypsum and alum are two ways to help basically make your clay particles heavy and go to the bottom and clear your water up. That water be looking like dookie poo-poo. Now on the bright side, this pond is holding water. It does have a good clay makeup to it. And I have seen countless deer around here just drinking water out of this thing, and they come out here every night. It's insane. And thank goodness they are, because quite honestly, they're coming out here in the fields and they're eating the grass at night. And they bed out here in the grass, and I'm telling you, I think they come out here so much, there's so many of them now, that they're actually keeping my lawn in control, which is awesome. It's like a real John Deere, because I need to get a tractor or a zero turn or something to mow this grass, and I can't afford it right now. Shout out to OSG making the holidays feel like home here. She's just been decorating and making this little place feel like home, which is right now it's kind of just been me over here, because it's where my new my editing equipment, basically my little studio, my studio office is, which is getting set up, and I've got some of my memorabilia on the wall, some of my favorite things, going up on the wall, some of the stuff you guys have sent me. Steph has actually helped me get this place organized and in working order. Got some of in the hallway, the Hall of Jerseys. Look at this. This bam! National Championship jersey right there. OSG's Rangerette uniform going on the wall. That's kind of cool. Come over here to the other side of the hallway, and bam! We got the crappie guitar right there. It's looking really nice, guys. Plus the additions through the man cave area. We're looking right, making it feel cozy in here. So as I was explaining, I was going through my old office stuff, and I found all these amazing documents. I kept all the notes about fish stuff. I threw everything away that was about, like history and mathematics. And mathematics, my worst subject ever. But anything that had to do with fish, I was into. And look at this. Look at this. I mean, this is literally why I went to this university. A, they had a bass team, and B, one of my professors that was heading up the department, I went into his office for a visit, and he had like multiple 10+ pound bass mounted on the wall. He told me he caught them at a nearby lake, and I said, "Sold. I'm coming here, sir. Coming here, doctor." So look at this: management of largemouth bass in Texas ponds. So it goes through everything. Math lessons. A little math for you right here. Just a PSD calculations. Number of bass caught under 12 inches divided by the total number caught times 100 on your largemouth bass, and then you got your bluegill table here as well. And you can just keep notes of all this stuff, guys. That's why I hung on to it, so I can get, oh, and I got little secret binders in here. You guys want to go through the natural history of invertebrates real quick? Me neither. Who can give me the genus and species right now of the largemouth bass? Pop in the comments right now if you know it quick. Look at this. I literally kept this for tournaments. A review of fizzing, a technique for swim bladder deflation. I have no idea whose number is on here. Don't look at that. Could be an X. Here's something tournament anglers never tell you about. The other side of poking them fish is mortality from rapid depressurization recorded from various freshwater fish species. Black crappie, depth greater than 12 feet, 77% mortality. Of course, why would you want to throw one of those back? Largemouth bass, deeper than 9 feet, 25%, deeper than 18 feet, 42%, deeper than 27 feet, mortality rate 45%. Oh my gosh, I must have been bored in class, and I wrote, I used to do a little songwriting when I was in college, me and a roommate of mine. I must have been bored because I have a song written here. I'm tempted not to read it, but if you smash the like button, I will. Man, this is juicy. Gosh, I feel like I might need to break out the crappie guitar for this one. By the way, really cool piece. Dwayne Calkins made this for me. He's made some really amazing guitars for different fishing personalities, I guess you could call myself and other people. Look how sweet that is. My gosh, it just gets me every time. Give me a sweet little hottie that loves to fish. Tell me that her only wish is to spend her days out on the water with her man. Forget the fancy restaurants and the diamond rings. We'll spend our money on entry fees. Pack up the truck and boat and hit the tour. Oh, wow. 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 That is something. All right. Okay. Just forget I did that. Embarrassment. You know what's actually funny is there's a little inner circle of GOOGAN squad that is I guess has some sort of musical talent. Actually, a couple of the guys really do. If you really look back into John B's videos, you'll actually see some guitar playing. It's pretty funny. And anyway, some of the creatives inside, and we have like a small little band. We don't have a name for it, but anyway, every once in a while, after a few cold brewskis, after getting off the water, filming all day, you get out the guitar and you strum a little bit and have some sing-song. Maybe one day at the HQ, big bright lights will come out, microphone, local talent opener. We'll sniff some baits, we'll play some songs. I don't know. We've gotten way off topic here. It is time to go find some gypsum. Let's go. Okay, so apparently gypsum is pretty hard to get a hold of. I went around to 3 different places yesterday, big box stores, small mom and pop, lawn and garden places. Couldn't find anything. So I've been calling all morning, and I finally found a place that has some. I think this would normally be a lot easier to get in the spring because it's commonly used for plants and like to break up soil, for hard clay and stuff like that. But apparently you can use just garden grade gypsum in ponds. gypsum, and we got some extra food for the chickens. I'm trying to get them to lay right now. They're just not laying. So I got some sunflower seeds and I got some oats. So for those of you that are watching this and wondering what kind of gypsum do you need to get, we're gonna see if this works, but I'm gonna show you the brand that I got. This is called Kelly's. It's capsulated, so it's a pretty fine gypsum, so it doesn't seem like a big pellet. Now gypsum is also in some drywalls and things like that, and I actually did look at Home Depot for like a bag of just, you know, drywall mixture and stuff, but it just had so much other crap in it. I didn't want to put that in the pond. So here it says calcium sulfate dihydrate, calcium and sulfur, okay? And this is what it's typically used for. We have 3 canisters, 3 glass containers, and we're going to be putting the same amount of pond water in each container, and we're going to be putting some redneck math estimations with a plastic spoon in there. Sample number 1, 1 spoon. Sample number 2, 2 spoons. You can probably figure out what sample number 3 is. Three muddy glasses. Got our gypsum in here. I can actually smell the sulfur. That's what it looks like right there, granulated. And you can see our water is pretty nasty. It's dirty. So what's happening? Again, clay particles, very fine. They're floating in the water. I can't get them to settle. Hopefully this is gonna be our solution. So let's mix these up. 1 spoonful in sample number 1. These are also my wife's juice glasses. So let's keep that on the DL. Can't tell if I'm actually starting to see some of the clay particles settle or if it's just the gypsum at the bottom. But I've mixed that up pretty good, so we're gonna let that sit. Next one, 2 spoons. And the third sample with 3 spoons. Loading it down. That's extreme. Now let's shake and bake. All right, we're still waiting on some flocculation. I'll give you guys an update on the jars. We have been graced with the presence of Ocean Spoon Girl and my son, Ben, who has, I think it's just ingrained in kids to do this with Oreos. They just know. They just know. But look what he's eating first. He's eating the side with no cream. Apple does not fall far from the tree. Just to give you guys a quick note on how I was as a kid too. When I had Lucky Charms, I was the kid that would like eat all the crusty, you know, little cardboard bits first. And then I'd save the marshmallows for last. Embrace that suck till you get to the, you know, the rainbow at the end. You know, I'd mix in a marshmallow every once in a while, but just put them all to the side. Save them for, it's the best for last. Now, anyway, let's get an update on our flocculation. All 3 of the jars are very dark. This looks like, it looks like coffee. It is darker than before, but it really literally looks like an espresso with a shot of cream in there right now at the bottom, and that's the gypsum and the clay particles that are starting to settle. Look closely at the top. This is sample number 1 with the least amount of gypsum in it. You can start to see that tannic, little bit of clearing at the top. Just looks like tea. Looks like Florida water. You go flipping in the lily pads for bass with. And I don't know why it's gotten darker. I don't know if it's the sulfur in there. I'm not quite sure, but it has definitely darkened it. But I don't mind it being a tannic color. I just want there some water, to be some water clarity. A, to see the fish, that's fun. B, to have some clarity for vegetation to grow and microorganisms that the small little fish will feed on and go up the food chain. And as we get vegetation that will grow around the edges and some on the bottom, we'll get additional water clearing from that as well, from trapping the particulates. but I can start to see a difference in jar number 1 here. Jar number 2, I mean, just look at that. That's cold brew. In jar number 3, I actually just flipped it over again because it was so dark. I wanted to kind of see what would happen, and it looks like, you know, we just added some milk or some cream in there. So going off what I've seen here, I'm gonna put in everything that I have into the pond. And my calculations are about 100 pounds per quarter acre foot. And so I've got about a quarter acre of a pond. It's about 4 feet right now probably. So we might be on the lower side. We might actually need more, but we'll throw this in there and see what it does. I just think it's gonna take a while to start clearing up, but we will throw it in, make a little slurry. I'm gonna mix it up essentially like this instead of just throwing the granules in, and allow the more fine mixture to distribute around the pond and flocculate. Okay, take note of this watercolor. It's super chalky. I mean, you can almost see the clay. I mean, you literally can see the clay. So hopefully it's gonna turn tannic and then turn clear. I got a 5-gallon bucket. I'm gonna start mixing some slurries and toss them in our little flocculator stick. We're using a boat cover stand. You guys are curious the color of that? Looks like a frappuccino. And we'll just start chunking these out in the pond. You know, the pond could be just muddy because there's so many deer that come to it. An unbelievable amount of deer. If I throw a scrap of corn out here, it's getting found. I could put a 50-pound bag out and be gone tomorrow. It's insane. But we fully flocculated now. Take a good look at it. Take note of this color. We're gonna see if it gets sort of that tannic tomorrow. I do like that I have some of the shoreline vegetation, man. It looks so good. It's just in mud. Well, friends, it's a new day. Not quite 24 hours, but it is time to see. Oh no. Oh no, this is bad. I'm sitting by the pond and I just noticed a dead fish. Little buddy. Little buddy. No. Wait a minute. Is that a crappie or a bluegill? Come here. That's a gill. What happened? What have I done? This is what I was worried about, is what if this stuff just starts killing my fish? I was concerned about, you know, when it smelled like sulfur, literally has sulfur in it. Like, what is that gonna do? I'm gonna walk over here to this other side where the wind has been blowing. And oddly enough, you know, there's a blue heron over here this morning, so maybe he's already picked off some of the dead ones. Really hope we didn't lose any bass. Or maybe that's just from a blue heron that's been picking at these gills, you know, or a raccoon or something. Okay, I don't see any. All right, well, the second most important thing, besides am I going to kill my fish here, is what is the water clarity today? After basically sitting overnight, a few more hours past that. And it looks like, quite honestly, a Hershey bar drank a Yoo-hoo and then had diarrhea. That is the color of this water. So everything has had time to settle in these jars. And this is what we have got here. It's the most interesting one is the first one that I put the gypsum in. This had 1 spoonful, and it's actually, I know this looks like tea, looks like cold brew, but it is actually clear. The particulates are gone. I'm gonna get you guys a little bit better light here. So as you can see, all the clay particles have gone to the bottom. It just looks like tea. It looks like Florida tannic water. And the gypsum was a brown color as it pelletized. It wasn't that white powder, so I think this has everything to do with it. Look at sample number 2. I mean, you can't really see through it at all. And then number 3, I mean, look at it. From what I've heard, you really can't over-stimulate a pond with gypsum. Like, it'll eventually just all settle. But it seems with this, whatever I got, that was brown, that granulized version, not like a white powder, you could definitely stain the crap out of it. And it definitely did work. It did its job. Because I had a water bottle that I filled up, and it took about a week and a half for the particles to fully settle, which means we definitely have a clay particle problem in the pond. That's, you know, it's unsettling, literally. So to answer the question, can I clear my pond with gypsum? I think the answer is yes, you can. In my particular case, having an alkaline pond with just these suspended clay particles that won't sink, it appears that I can with this stuff. It's just what I got is staining it really tannic brown. It's just one of those things. It's probably going to take a while. You know, 24 hours, we're probably not going to see a difference. Maybe I will tomorrow. Maybe I will in a week. But I'm probably going to add a little bit more. I definitely went with the less route just to kind of see what happens. And I'll just continue adding. But I am going to try another water jar experiment with alum, which is aluminum sulfate. And that one's a little trickier from my research, where you can flip the pH of the pond if you add too much. And it's also a lot harder to get a hold of. This is my dream, to have a backyard pond. And now that I finally have it, I want to make sure I'm going to do it right, do it justice, and you know, just make it a continual, ongoing experiment of backyard water greatness. Doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes along the way, but hey, that's what the comment section is for, and just general experimentation. It's kind of fun. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more pond videos. My brain is just churning now. Was so into this stuff when I was younger, and obviously college studying it. So now kind of coming full circle as a middle-aged man, getting to manage my own little backyard pond. It's pretty fun. And some more foreshadowing here, just a little homestead action. Chickens. I have got to get a chicken solution. I've only got a couple of weeks until the family's basically fully moving over here. Chickens fully coming over here. I got to find a solution quick. I've been doing research to try to build what I think is going to be the best solution for here. You know, a small piece of property with backyard chickens that is pretty much maintenance free. So you guys stay tuned for that, and I will see you on the next one. Playing with fish fryers and lawnmowers. Playing with fish fryers and lawnmowers. That's a son of an outdoorsman right there.